going on, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to another week of the Clone Wars. We are now on Season 7, Episode 7, Dangerous Death. So just as your warning, I will be reviewing this with spoilers, as if you've already seen these episodes that have led up to this and that you've already seen this episode, so that's your warning, guys. Visually, again, I'm loving the animation of this season. They've done such a great job of maintaining that art style the show already had, but just making it look so crisp and clean, and just the lighting, everything about it, I really love it. There's some really great action sequences in here. There's a great hand-to-hand combat moment with Ahsoka, and I just love the animation in that moment. It just looks so smooth, and the fluidity of the movements is just so much fun. I'm really enjoying this show, just being able to watch it again. And yeah, this was a really fun episode to me. They were all imprisoned at the beginning of this episode, and you know, there's some stuff that happens. Rafa ends up getting tortured, Trace is about to get tortured and ends up escaping, and then this huge kind of escape begins. Ahsoka uses the Force to open up their cell door without them noticing, and there's just a lot of stuff going on. The majority of this episode is just them escaping and just kind of being on the run. By the end of the episode, they do end up back in the cell, so I am curious to see where the next episode is gonna go, because the majority of this episode is pretty much them just escaping the cell, being out there, fighting some pikes, and going through all this situation. And by the end of the episode, they're back in the cell. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what the next episode is. The next episode is the finale of this arc, and then the next arc after this is the Siege of Mandalore, which is where we know Darth Maul comes into play. So I'm really excited for that. And speaking of which, they definitely hinted at that coming along. We do get a brief moment where we see a hooded Mandalorian. We see 3 hooded Mandalorians, and when the main one speaks, it's clearly Bo-Katan. So based on the trailers and just the fact that we know Bo-Katan's a big part of the season, or at least the last half of the season, it's clear that she's gonna team up with Ahsoka to take down Darth Maul for the Siege of Mandalore, and I just cannot wait to see Bo-Katan in the next episode. Once I saw that Mandalorian armor under that hood and just kind of the ominous kind of, oh look who's that random character kind of thing, I go, oh, that's easily Bo-Katan. Really excited to see what role she plays in the next episode. And yeah, on an overall level, I really enjoyed this episode. I don't have too much to say except for the big strengths of this episode, outside of hinting for the next episodes, would be the small moments between characters. This is an episode where you learn a lot more about the Martez sisters, and one thing I really loved learning about was how their parents died. We find out that the Jedi, in pursuit of Zero the Hutt, who was working with Cad Bane at the time, he was trying to escape prison, and on their way down to the lower levels of Coruscant to capture him, Cad Bane ends up shooting the engine of a ship, and the Jedi have to take control of this ship and kind of steer it. They end up steering it away from a populated platform, and they run it into a wall, but behind that wall was the Martez home, and that's where their parents died. And yeah, I really enjoyed that additional content. You have the Martez sisters, who in a lot of ways have come off very naive and kind of arrogant in my perspective. But yeah, I've really enjoyed their characters for the most part, and I enjoy these set of characters that really don't know too much about this criminal world or just the world overall. They've been stuck to Coruscant in the lower levels of Coruscant. Now you have Ahsoka with them, who has all this experience, who kind of has to hide the fact that she's a Jedi. And now we find out that the Jedi are somebody who kind of ruined their lives in a way. They used to have somewhat of a positive mentality on the Jedi, but their whole mentality now is, yeah, because of what the Jedi did and them interfering in that whole situation down below, they ended up getting my parents killed, and they kind of just left. They said, may the Force be with you. The Force will be with you always. And they kind of just left. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed learning more about Rafa, feeling a little bit more of her heart and who her character is. I liked small moments between her and Ahsoka in this episode. And on an overall level, I am really excited to see where this last episode in this arc goes. So yeah, guys, this is going to be a shorter episode. I don't have much to say because majority of this episode is them on the run. The strengths of this episode, without a doubt, are the small moments between the characters, learning about the Martez parents and, you know, what their situation was and how the Jedi play a role in the lives of the Martez sisters, and kind of just learning more about their characters in small lines of dialogue. There's some really fun and exciting action in here. There's some great little hints and nods of what's to come. Again, I'm really excited to see Bo-Katan show up in the next episode. And on an overall level, I do recommend this episode if you guys have not already seen it. I'm hoping you already have, because I spoiled everything about it. But yeah, this is a fun episode. I enjoyed it. I don't have too much to say about it. I don't think there's too many big spoiler moments in here, but this is just a fun escape from prison action episode with some drizzling of some great character moments and some context building moments that I really did enjoy. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be my thoughts on this episode. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Leave your comments down below. What did you think about this episode? Are you liking the Martez sisters? Are you excited to see Bo-Katan? Definitely curious to hear what you guys have to say. Again, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and I will see each and every single one of you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.